The Nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office, or the CBO, released its Economic Impact Report for the Affordable Care Act, also known as, of course, Obamacare. Now, I'm going to go to CNN, got a little clip from CNN I'm going to show you, then we're going to get into a little bit of discussion on it.
A new report by the Nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office estimating Obamacare will cause Americans to leave the workforce. The report says that will cause a reduction of the labor force equal to more than 2 million workers in 2017, 2.5 million by 2024.
Wow, so 2.5 million fewer people will be employed because of Obamacare, because of the Affordable Care Act. Now that sounds bad, right? Sure, but it's music to Republican ears. You know why? Because they can say, and they have, we knew it, Obamacare, job killer, told you. We were right all along. It's a job killer. It's destroying jobs. Look at all these jobs that it's destroyed. But except they're wrong. And when you read into the CBO report, you actually find out that no, that's not the case. This is not killing jobs. It's not killing jobs. If you don't believe me, let's ask an expert from a hearing that they had on the CBO numbers.
The effect is principally on the labor supply of lower wage workers. And the reason is that what the Affordable Care Act does is to provide subsidies focused on lower and lower middle income people to buy health insurance. By providing heavily subsidized health insurance to people with very low income and then withdrawing those subsidies as income rises, the Act creates a disincentive for people to work relative to what would have been the case in the absence of that Act. Now, these subsidies, of course, make those lower income people better off.
I understand the better off in the context of health care, but better off in inducing a person not to work who's on the low income scale, not to get on the ladder of life, to begin working, getting the dignity of work, getting more opportunities, rising their income, joining the middle class. This means fewer people will do that. That's why I'm troubled by this.
Okay, so, you saw the hearing there. Paul Ryan, one of the few Republicans that wasn't spouting the line of job killer, job killer, job killer. Now, instead, Paul Ryan was going back to his normal line of American people are lazy, and if we actually allow them to get cheaper health insurance, well, obviously they're going to be lazy and work less. Now, that's, of course, no surprise because, Paul Ryan went with Mr. 47% and basically tried to say that half of the country is lazy moochers, and whose only goal, of course, is to suck off the government teat. And, of course, to tie this into Obamacare, he says that Obamacare is actually going to incentivize people to do so. Now, Bill Pascrell, who was also had a hearing about the Affordable Care Act, he has his own spin on this CBO numbers. Let's take a look at that.
So what you're saying is that because of the security of Obamacare that it provides, a 60-year-old, let's take that as an example, might decide to retire early.
Yes.
And open up a job for someone who was unemployed today. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right, Congressman.
Okay, so that's a pretty good example. A 63-year-old or a 60-year-old that wants to retire. He can actually do so now and make room for somebody younger. Those people that are disproportionately affected by unemployment right now can go in and take those open jobs. And this is the whole thing about the ACA and jobs is this thing called job lock. And you probably heard that term get thrown around a lot in this debate about the ACA. And the whole point of a universal health care system and a system like the Affordable Care Act is that it's supposed to put an end to job lock. Job lock is basically tying you to your job through health insurance. You can't leave that job without losing your health insurance and having to start over without any sort of benefits. And there's a lot of people that can't do that. For example, that 60-year-old can't get on Medicare, can't do anything else, so they have to stay at that job until they're 65. And so this is the whole point of any universal system, is to end job lock. Now think about it. Think about how many people actually could be entrepreneurs but don't create their own businesses because they're in job lock. They don't have any health care options. from being self-employed. I know I'm self-employed. I can't afford insurance on my own. So I mean, without any sort of universal system, you get people that can't go out and create those jobs and be job creators. Not only that, but here's an interesting stat. Now, out of those 2.5 million people over the next decade that choose to reduce their hours or stop working, there could be a few entrepreneurs in that group of people that think that, hey, I'm going to go create a business. I'm going to go follow up a great idea that I had that I couldn't do before because I had maybe a pre-existing condition, or I had a family member that needed this health insurance, so I stuck it out at my crappy job. Well, now I don't have to do that anymore. Not only that, but you've got people who also work more than one job, who work two full-time jobs, just to get insurance, to get health insurance, that aren't job locked anymore. The main Republican argument now that Paul Ryan is starting to use this argument, and we're sort of shifting away from saying that Obamacare is killing jobs, now their argument is starting to shift over that, well, people are just lazy and that this disincentivizes people to work. Now, you hear a lot about that on unemployment as well. All right, it's sort of the same argument that if you give government programs, people are not going to work. That's not entirely true. People still want to work. The people that are going to drop out or reduce their hours, they're either older people, right, who are close to retiring but not quite close enough, or people who are working more than one job, or people who actually just want to spend a little bit more time with their family. Now, the conservatives should love this because this finally gives people the choice to be able to do those things, or to drop out and create their own businesses without being job locked. Conservatives should be all over this choice. But they're not, and that's kind of strange. But look, if you want to make that argument that it disincentivizes people, we can have that, and that's fine. But that's an ideological argument. I do, however, want to give Paul Ryan just a little bit of credit here for actually being honest and not using that familiar talking point of it's killing jobs, it's killing jobs. Remember, these people are dropping out of the workforce by choice, and I think that's really, really important. And I think it's also important that he's actually telling us how he really feels about Americans. That if there's the option, Americans are going to be lazy, which I think is just patently untrue. Hey, if you enjoyed this clip, make sure to like and leave a comment below, or even share. Sharing is caring. If you want to see more TYT Nation videos, go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/TYT Nation. Thank you for watching.